What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. This one honestly is very spur of the moment, but I was literally just out shooting, had this thought, wanted to share it with you guys. Hopefully I can help you out of a pit here because I've fallen into this before. But you might be going through a phase where you have these left and right misses that you just can't explain. And I just had it happen a couple times out there shooting, which is why it came to mind. But say you're at 20 yards, say you're at 50 yards, 100 yards, wherever it is, and you got your pin right on the target, feels great, shot breaks great, and you get down there and maybe it's 4 inches to the right or 2 inches to the left. Vertical is absolutely perfect, but you can't explain why it went to the right or to the left. This is a super common thing, and a lot of it has to do with form, but there's also one kind of secret I want to share today that really can affect it, that has to do with your bow itself, not necessarily just your form. I'm going to go over a couple of those little form things that you can do to help improve these and hopefully eliminate them altogether. But there is one thing that you can do with your bow that will definitely lend itself to taking out these left and right misses, especially minor ones. Like if you're pretty good on your form and you're not having it too often, but you still get it every now and then, this last little secret tip here is going to hopefully eliminate that altogether. Let's get into it. So first things first, to be honest, this is a pretty common one. It's gone over a lot, but it's very important, so I'm gonna mention it in this video. But it's gonna be your grip. See if I can get it to focus there. But your grip is gonna be so important to your left and right misses, because if you think about it, your grip is your one point of contact with your bow. So if you got bias to the right or bias to the left, that is going to affect your shot greatly. And I always like to phrase it that way. Your grip is the one point of contact you have with the thing that you are shooting. So it matters a ton. I recently went through like a grip transformation, found out I wasn't holding my bow the right way, and it was the cause for a lot of inaccuracy. I wasn't too far off, but also there were some improvements that needed to be made, and since then I literally have been shooting the best I've ever shot. So your grip matters a lot, especially whenever it comes to left and right misses, and let me explain that. So this is basically my grip on my bow. As you guys can see, it is pretty neutral in that I don't have a lot of bias one way or the other. The camera wants to track my face, trying to get it to stay on the bow. But pretty much all my pressure is going to be on the back. I don't have pressure on my thumb. It's very lax. Same thing goes for this side of my hand. I'm just gently resting my fingers on the front of the riser. All my pressure is going to be on the back of my hand, specifically this part of my palm right here. So you got your lifeline, which is going to be the main line that you see running down your hand right here, that kind of crease right there. You want to make sure your grip is going to be on this side of your lifeline. Super important to your left and right misses. And then tip number 2 that has to do with your form is going to be face pressure. Now this one is the biggest one. It's the easiest to do because once you get your grip right, it really becomes like muscle memory. You hold your bow pretty much the same every time that you draw back for the most part. I mean, there can be some variance and a learning curve in there, but once you get it down for the first time, generally speaking, it's pretty easy to replicate. You get used to it. But face pressure is something that can come and go in your form. It's something that you can easily do without realizing it. So to show you guys what I'm talking about, I can draw back here, and I'm going to want to settle into my anchor point and get on that peep sight. And my anchor point's actually a lot higher on my face than it is for most people, just because I don't have any point of contact with the string except the tip of my nose right there. That's the only place I touch, so no left and right face pressure. A lot of people anchor up here, and then they're digging in their string. They gotta get in there. They're pushing it to the right, just like that. And what a lot of people don't realize is how greatly that affects their shot. So you think about it, full draw, you're only holding back typically about 15% of what you're actually pulling. So say you're pulling 70 pounds, you're only gonna be holding 15% of that weight, because most modern day bows are 85% let off. And you think about whenever you put your bow in a press and you take some of the pressure off of it, how easy it is to manipulate that string. And that's because you have less tension on it. Now, the less weight you have on your bow, the less amount of tension you have on your string. So therefore, whenever you're at full draw, there's a lot less weight on your string than there is like this. So you can try to move your string around like this whenever it's not drawn. It's not gonna go too many places. But whenever you're at full draw and you're only holding roughly 15% of that initial weight, your string is gonna move so much easier. So any little minute movement in your face, amount of pressure on your face, is going to greatly affect that shot. Super common mistake people have, and it's very easy to do because you want a solid anchor point, but a lot of people get anchor point mixed up with face pressure. So they think, oh, to have a solid anchor point, I have to have my face space on the string. And a lot of times they just get too deep in there, and you'll see a lot of people whenever after they take a shot, they'll have like a white little line across their face where it was digging into their skin. So anyway, string pressure matters a lot because it very much manipulates how the shot actually goes off and where that arrow ends up. So that's what you can kind of do on a personal side of things. This is that last little secret that I was going to talk about, and that is going to be your peep sight. So your peep sight is something that matters a lot more than you think on your shot. If you don't have your peep sight aligned with your front sight perfectly every time, then your shot's not gonna go where it should. And a lot of people run into peep sight rotation, whether it is off by like half a degree to the right or something, or to the left, or maybe it's twisted around a lot and you gotta reach up there and kind of get at it with your lip whenever you're at full draw, or twist it before you draw. Whatever it is, a lot of people deal with peep sight rotation. Super common. It's a little frustrating. I gotta be honest with you, I hate peep sight rotation, but it just happens. But on my bow, for example, where the string has settled, mine cocks just a touch to the right. I mean, like ever so slightly, to the point where whenever I draw back, I can see through it clearly and it doesn't look cocked one way or the other. But if I really focus on the peep with my eye instead of my front sight or my pins or my target, whatever I'm focusing on with my eye, if I bring that focus back to my peep, then I'll be able to see it's off just a hair, and I'll have a little bit of empty space around my housing on the left side of the sight because it's cocked to the right. And that tiny little bit of empty space, believe it or not, causes a lot of left and right misses. It's so common. So even if your peep is just clocked enough to where you don't even notice it, that can still cause a left and right miss. So I've gotten into the habit of getting it straight every single time I get back. The only reason I haven't fixed that, like in the press, you know, or with my D-loop, is because I'm about to put a new set of strings on this lift. So haven't fixed it just because of that reason, but I don't want y'all to run into it. And it's something that especially a new shooter might overlook. And even someone that's been shooting it for a while and they're comfortable with their bow may not even realize they got a little bit of peep twist, and that matters a whole lot. But especially if your peep sight's got a lot of twists, if you don't have a bow press, make sure you guys take it to your local bow shop, get it a little bit twisted in the string, whichever way it needs to go. That will help a lot of your problems. And if it's something minor, you can really play with your D-loop a little bit just to get it a little closer to being right. Sometimes it can really fix it. Sometimes it can kind of act as a band-aid. It just depends on how twisted your peep sight is. Well, anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for this one. Like I said, short little spur of the moment video just on left and right misses, specifically with face pressure, peep sight, and grip. Hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.